Okay, so we're doing some black work. I think there's some white on black in here, a little bit of blackout, straight up blackout. So there's some different stuff, but we'll go under the envelope of blackout tattoos.
Cool. So the first one says, "Hi Remy, my name is Jake. I work in a shop in Tulsa, Oklahoma called Ink Junkies Tattoo, and we all watch and wanted to share my blackout."
I feel bad for that shop.
Oh my goodness.
The customers are probably annoyed. They've got it on in the shop.
I'm so sorry.
We watched Joe Rogan. Some people are watching Remy. One day I'll get there. I was talking about that again today. They were talking about the Tom Segura clip of me.
I know. Remy wants to be on Joe Rogan so
I think
bad.
I could do 4 hours on Joe Rogan, no problem. And it would be a brand new conversation he's never had before.
Probably.
Honest to God, I do.
Oh yeah, I think so. And I think you guys could talk about bodybuilding and stuff.
All kinds of things.
Anyways.
All kinds of things.
This one, and you would do mushrooms. It would be hilarious.
Oh, sure.
So, and then he goes on to say, this was done by Brett Blevins. Sorry if I really messed up your last name. And was his first blackout. I had a few tattoos then. Covered them with a Japanese sleeve, and it was kind of a mess. So after seeing your videos, I decided to fix it all. We did 4 time sittings, about 4 hours each, and wanted to show you the swellbow. Oh, and it was actually 3 sittings. He amends, and they were 4 hours each.
Well, that seems reasonable.
So this is, I would
This
say,
is
our
the mess.
before our mess.
All right, let's have it. Let's get it in close here. He's got like skull, little flowers, some flower stuff at the bottom, some kind of weed nest or something in here.
Yeah.
With like a weird flower at the bottom. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was, I had some version of this myself. It was denser. Like, mine was like the bottom, like my right arm was like a red version of the bottom of this.
Yeah, it kind of was.
What I mean? It was like this big blorb of like fire and some crazy ass nonsense. There's like 150 hours in my first sleeve. It was all just like insane stuff that was all too small and smashed together. And then there was some big stuff floating around in there too. Like I had a skull. Remember the skull I had on my right arm? It was like this part of my right arm.
It was like that the demon skull.
The demon skull that was
with horns.
My original idea was it was going to be a Balrog, and it turned into that.
Oh,
and then I had the little ring wraith, and I had the Witch King. The small one.
Oh, I forgot about the small Witch King.
Yeah, and I had some
script. Then you had the one ring.
I had the one ring, and yeah, there was all kinds of shit in there. There was traditional anchor on that arm.
I liked those traditional ones.
And then there were 2 little traditional roses in there on each wrist.
And those were also really well done.
Yeah, well, a lot of it was, but like there was so much insanity happening that it was just like, I remember joking with Lee. It was like the only way you're ever going to fix this is if you black it out, and we would both laugh, and then one day it wasn't a joke anymore.
Well, I would like to think that I was showing you enough blackout sleeves that it kind of helped.
Yeah, maybe.
Constantly.
I think it was just the right time.
Remy being like, I don't like those, Sarah. And me being like, look at them. They're beautiful. I love them. This is like 16?
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Anyways.
This thing here is another one of those where it's like, oh, this is the only way to clear this up. I hope that he addressed the hand. Did we get a? Nope, he didn't.
No, he kept the hand.
Okay, so what is the thinking here?
Yes, why did we keep the hand?
I thought maybe when he just had part of his arm, it was like, oh, I'm getting to it. But
I mean, I like the rest of the sleeve. It's hard to tell from the pictures, but it looks well saturated.
That's brand new there.
Yeah.
And then we have some healing, some stuff healed here, I think. Getting a little glare there. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's a decent job. I would definitely get rid of that fucking rose or whatever the hell
if
flower
it's a rose,
that is.
so like you could just redo it, do a new one.
Yeah, you can build a new one on top. I know, like it's still a little experimental what I'm doing here, according to some people, but it's really not, and especially not for just one tattoo.
Well, you haven't touched that moon in quite a while.
The moon
is so there. Like,
yeah,
it's there.
The moon is it's as good as it ever was. It hasn't been touched in forever.
Yeah.
Other than that red outline, which is one pass, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
We probably could have done another pass on the red, but now Rick and I are going over that with more stuff.
And you guys need to believe me when I say, like, there's no editing. on these videos, and like
I can barely put my pants on to make these half the time.
Well, and I also just want to say that like I'm sitting here and I'm comparing, and like his tattoos are actually more vibrant in person than they are.
That's the case with every tattoo that's ever been done.
We just need to remember that. Anyways,
some people think that it's like the other way around, but it's not.
These, I think this Blackout looks decent.
The Blackout looks good, and yeah, that's a decent swell bow. I've definitely been there a few times. Although these days, like whenever I get my elbow tattooed, it doesn't really swell up anymore.
Yeah, mine didn't do that.
Beaten into submission.
I think Ash's did that though.
Mine definitely did that for when I was blacking it out. I had the swell bow. Swell bow was, and then if you do the ditch and the elbow at the same time, then you get this weird like you don't have a bend in your arm.
Nasty.
It just looks like you're wearing like a foam arm or something.
It's probably the worst part of the whole thing is that crazy swelling that you get.
Yeah, once you've been through it a few times, you get used to it. And you're not really worried about it, though. You just kind of like, oh, okay, well, this will go away. Whereas people with no experience with that, they're probably like, is there something wrong? It's like, yeah, you're retaining water.
Which is, we'll go back to the, you can phone the tattoo shop and be like, hey.
Yeah, no, this looks a hell of a lot better than what you did have. So anyway, we got another email here.
Yes, thanks for sending those in.
I think this is a 2-part description.
Okay, hold on. I lost it. Okay, so this one says, the original tattoo was my full last name going sideways from left to right. Then did the Blackout cover up. Then did a second pass on the Blackout before the white letters. Any tips, if any, on what to mix the white ink with, to make the white ink pop more, or just to keep doing white? So he wants to know what to mix his white ink with.
I mean, I think, what isn't there another, there's another part to this?
Yeah, my artist, which is the Suit of Swords on Instagram, has only used white both passes. And then on his second email, he says... they're out of order. Hello, Remy and Sarah. Hope you're doing well. This tattoo is originally cover-up. Is a Blackout Mexican.
I'm editing myself.
Silhouette. Did this pass on the Blackout. Now decided to add some white letters. NL. This is fresh second pass on white. Just wanted Remy's opinion. I'm definitely going back for a third pass on the white. Appreciate for reviewing this tattoo. Love and support the channel. This is actually really cool looking.
So... this should lend strength to what I said earlier about not having the time to barely put my pants on. I didn't even organize this properly.
No, it's okay. I should have read it beforehand.
This is fresh. He's sending me the fresh, I think.
And this is the... He's still thinking of another pass. Well, and he's curious about, like, how to make the white more vibrant. Like, what to put in the white.
What this looks like to me is, like, they left... the negative of the black around the white, and then they blacked out around the negative of the black. Yeah. What I would do is just get rid of that negative of the black. Like, don't leave that there at all, anywhere in the equation. Just black out right to the white.
Or, like, if you want that, like, subtle negative, do a black line next to the white.
Or...
like, line the white with black.
I think what I would do is... if you're open to color, use like red or something.
That would also look
like
badass.
A dark red. Not even like you wouldn't even need to make it a bright one. You just do like one pass of like a dark red of any kind, really, and it'll just change the white from the background more. All these black inks have blue pigments in them, and so when you do red with them,
blue green, yeah,
you're kind of going like. Warm and cold tones, and believe it or not, that white will stand out a lot more. It's the same reason why I did all of that on my face and stuff, and the original white and black roses with the red background. Yeah. There were people who were like, oh, I like the old Blackout one more. You can do that. You can like that if you want. But in technicality and in reality, the red made those things pop more. Agreed. Whether you like the fucking black and white version of it more or not, it had more contrast with the red.
I also, like, because he's asking about the white, so I know in our shop we use Fusion.
Yeah, we just use Fusion white.
That's what we like. But I'm curious, because I haven't been in the shop the whole time you guys have been doing this. Like, have you guys tried different brands of white?
The only other one that we liked was Silverback white. And it was... a little bit like dynamic white to work with, but it had
Thicker?
it was a little thicker maybe, but it had more of a pinkish, reddish base to it rather than the yellowish that whites will often have in them when they heal. It had kind of a pinky tone, but like there's no magic white. You get a lot of asshole like tattooers that they'll try and tell you that like, oh, you have to use this white. It's the only white that works. And it's like those guys are most likely sponsored by those things, or
Right.
they're making a cut in some way, or they're just really fond of it because they've been using it forever.
Yes.
The only one that really sucks that I've seen is the dynamic white. Like that's goes in pretty dull.
I'm like looking over at Ash's station.
Now,
I think that might be dynamic over there.
There are some uses for dull white though too.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you always want your white to be super bright. Sometimes you just need like a little bit brighter, right?
And I always think that's kind of what some of this is really about, is everybody's always asking what ink you're using, and it's not magical ink. We use Fusion at the shop.
Just Fusion ink. Everybody here likes Fusion.
But
and
it's just what we like.
Rick has used some titanium silvers and different silver sets on me. Whenever I say silver ink, there's some like half-assed, like kind of shitty tattooer that's like, there's no such thing as silver ink. It's like, there's tons of silvers. They're all opaque sets.
Yeah.
That's what they're called.
Yeah, they're called, yeah.
Yeah, so when I've said that in the past, anytime I've mentioned it, some like 4 out of 10 tattooer comes in and laughs at the term silver. There's no such, yes, there is.
There's a color silver. There's no such thing as an actual chrome with the shine.
There are dozens of silver inks.
Yeah.
They are literally called
silver.
Different, like purple silver, blue silver, one that we're using we used in my forehead recently is smoke silver.
Smoke silver.
It's an opaque gray, but it's called smoke silver.
That's cool.
So I just wanted to clarify. And I find that opaques, they cover black and color better and smoother than white, but they're not as bright. So what you would do is you first put down some opaques to cover and mute out the color, and then you come in and you brighten that up with white. But none of that is necessary here. I think for what this guy is doing, the best approach would be to just get rid of that negative black. It's too similar to the white that you've put in here.
Yeah.
I like what they were thinking, but it would be better if they inverted it. It would be better if the white or the negative was on the inside of the fresh black rather than the outside.
Or they lined it.
But
line it with a new black.
If they're doing this approach, the better way to do it would have been to leave the negative black in where they've left the new black and put the fresh black around the white.
Yeah, because you want your darkest tone next
around
to your brightest tone.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're really going to get that pop.
Yeah, you don't want your old black next to your fresh white and then your new black like apart from the white.
Yeah.
You're doing this you're thinking the wrong way.
Yeah, it's backwards
thinking.
Backwards. It's backwards thinking.
You need your darkest next to your lightest to make your lightest tone pop the most.
It makes complete sense.
So